I played over 30 PSP games and also recorded this video about 50 times. This is like the 4th time I'm recording this. The first time, well, technically it's the 3rd time. The first time I didn't press record, and yeah, so then the 2nd time, that same day, I didn't realize I had green socks on. I mean, I'm on a green screen right now. That's kind of the one rule, is don't wear anything green. All right, so for the moment we've all been waiting for. I beat 30 PSP games to 100% completion. There is no way I would be able to beat over 30 PSP games before I hit the ripe age of 65.
Leave the penguin alone, bro.
This is all gonna be opinionated, so it's not, if I don't like a game, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. I just personally didn't like it. You might like it. So let's go ahead and jump in, starting with Split Second, which is how long most of you are probably gonna watch this video. I hope y'all watch a lot longer. This is an extreme racing reality show directed by Michael Bay himself.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really, really?
Yes, really.
Well, no, not really. But it could have been, because all you do in this game is, not all you do, is blow shit up. You blow up the other racers, you blow up the track itself, and they can blow the track up too. What's cool is when you blow the track up, it changes the course of the race. I think it controls great. I think it's fun. I've played it before, and I highly recommend it. So next we have Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. This game is hard, like, not the hardest on the list, but this game popped a blue chew. This game is a 3D remake of Rondo of Blood, which was originally released on the 16-bit consoles, like back in the 90s. This game features the original Rondo of Blood and Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is my personal favorite. The only problem is you're gonna have to beat the game, and you're gonna get them cheeks clapped a couple of times in the process before you can unlock Symphony of the Night. But if you're not good at the game, you can play as Maria, which is kind of the game's easy mode. It's still not particularly easy. It's just like the linear old school style Castlevania games. Next up we have Little Small Big Tiny Little Big Small Big Little Planet. It's in short, little, but big, but also tiny, Little Big Planet. And yeah, my brother loved these games when I was a kid. He liked them a lot more than I did. GTA Vice City Stories. They also had GTA Liberty City Stories, and I just like GTA Vice City Stories more personally.
I don't give a shit. Don't you understand? Nobody cares. Don't you understand that? What the f do I have to do here?
Because I like the city better. And I'll just tell you a little quick story about a boy named Isaac, okay? And that boy right there is me. So Isaac played the PS1 version of GTA, and it was butt cheeks. Played the PS2 version, it was good. Then he played the PSP version, and it was good. It wasn't PS2 good, but it was still good. It's just one of those games that you could just like vibe out to, just listening to the radio and riding around in town. Maybe you're like obeying the traffic laws. Maybe you're running a guy over. It's GTA. It's a game where you do what you want, you know? Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Long story short, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you are going to enjoy this game. It's just got that same exact feel. It's got the same exact charm. The art style is pretty close to matching up what you see on the PlayStation 2 versions. And it's just, it translates over perfectly to the PSP, and it plays well, and it's canon. Sorry, let me drink some of this real quick. Metal Gear Solid Walker Texas Ranger. It's a mouthful right there. This is the sequel to Peace Walker. This is Peace Walker Texas Ranger. Anyways, I played this kid when I played this kid when I was a game. I played this game whenever I was a kid, and it was one of the best games that I had played, like just in general, not just on the PSP. Like, it was so good to the point that I had to let one of my friends borrow it and experience it. I never played the game. My dad played Metal Gear Solid 3 when I was a kid, but I remember watching him play it, and I got this game on the PSP, and it felt just like the game that I watched on the PS2, except you can crouch in this game, which is a big win for me. I don't know why, but I never liked that you could not crouch on those games and that you could only crawl. I just don't get it. Like, is it just not was it not physically possible for him at the time? Did he have like a knee injury or something? Like, I don't know. It just did not make sense. But this is an awesome game. This is one of the best games on the PSP. You should check it out. Persona 3 Portable. This game is very, very long. It is not as long as Persona 5 Royal. That game's like 100 hours, but this one's about 65 and a half. So they do have Persona 3 Reload now, which is a remake of this game, so that one's always an option. But in short, if you do want to play this version, it's definitely worth your time. It's got awesome characters, awesome writing, it's got some cool combat. It's a turn-based game. You're like a high school kid, you do social stuff during the day, errands, go to school at night during the dark hour between the last day and the next day. You're fighting these shadows and like these in the castle, doing dungeon crawling stuff. It's a really cool game. I could go a lot deeper, but let's move on to something else. Final Fantasy Crisis Core 7. I don't really like Final Fantasy, honestly. I've tried to like it. I really have. I've played a bunch of different games. I just can't get into it. This game, that doesn't mean this is a bad game. People have said it's got an amazing story. Like, people have literally like cried at the end of it, and it's got a very strong opening. It's not the turn-based combat that the series is typically known for, though. It's like some kind of real time. It's not exactly real time, but it kind of is, as you'll see in the gameplay. It seems fine if you like Final Fantasy. I've heard great things about it, so you should check it out. So God of War Chains of Olympus is God tier, but I mean, it just throws you into the combat immediately. It's not like these long tutorials. It's not, you don't have to worry about some funky camera. It's just like the PS2 versions. They just like them. If you liked those games, you will like these games. So Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. This game is the longest, girthiest, thickest, deepest game on this list, you feel me? This game, dude, I was reading, and some people have literally put like 400 hours into this game. No exaggeration. So there's content. There's a lot of content in this game. There's a lot of stuff to do. If you have time for it, I didn't play that much. I played like, I didn't even really pass the tutorial. I just skipped through it and went and tried to do at least like one mission. But in short, it's a game where you hunt monsters, Monster Hunter, and then you get like some cool gear and stuff like that. And then you keep getting better gear, and then the game's over. Maybe. Daxter. So now we got Daxter. As I'm getting older, I appreciate short games. When I was a kid, I did not want a short game, you know, because you only get 1 or 2 games for Christmas and stuff like that. But anyways, it's funny. It's got a good art style. It's one of the best looking games on the list. It's like a platformer, and it's just got like that early 2000s like charm to it. It made me feel like nostalgic, but I have never played this game before. I think maybe it made me feel that way because I played Jack, and it's got that same art style, so it just kind of took me back to my childhood. Anyways, this is a highly rated game. This is an awesome game. This is a game that I would go back to and play still. Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. It was just okay to me. I mean, there was nothing inherently bad about it. It was just something that just, you know, Real quick, I just want to shout out Ratchet & Clank's Size Matters. It's the motion of the ocean, baby. You feel me? So now we have Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I was kind of upset because like these were some of my favorite games when I was a kid. I love Underground 2. I love Underground, all those games. I don't really like it on the PSP.
You what?
I think the reason that I don't like it is because it's like the controls themselves. Like, they're not inherently bad, but I feel like I'm fighting with the controls. I feel like it feels too fast and it feels too claustrophobic. It's hard to explain. You'll have to experience it for yourself, but for some reason that just kind of ruined it for me, I'm not gonna lie. Other than that, it's got the art style, it's got the soundtrack, the freaking soundtracks on these games. Oh my God, I love them. Scooby-Doo, who's watching you? I like this game right off the bat. I liked it right off the bat. I can typically tell within a few minutes if I'm gonna like it or not. It reminds me of Night of 100 Frights, if you ever played that game on the PS2. It's obviously it's a different game, but it feels kind of similar to that one in a sense. But I like it because it feels like it pays homage to the original, like, I don't know the exact year, maybe 1960s or something like that, the original Scooby-Doo. It's got like the ghosts in it and stuff like that. It's got some characters in there, if you've ever watched the show, that you'll recognize. I just like the art style and I like the music. It just feels good to play. It's just like a game that makes you smile, it makes you happy. If you like Scooby-Doo, definitely give this a try. Assassin's Creed, baby. I did not get past the tutorial in Assassin's Creed. It's just, the game kind of sucks, honestly. It might have been good back in the day, but it's just, I don't know. I just could not make myself want to play this game more than like 5 minutes. Call of Duty. I think this one's a remake of Call of Duty 3, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. I think that's what I read online. But I wanted to see how first-person shooter worked on the PSP since it's got one joystick. It worked pretty good, actually. And the reason for that is because, like, any game that has you aiming with the face buttons is a good thing. Because if you're playing on an emulator, like I was, then you can take those buttons and map them to the right stick. And it makes it control so much better, like, so much better. That's why I was mad about Socom. It did not give you the option to change the control layout really that much. But yeah, I mean, it's the typical Call of Duty that you're used to. Explosions and over-the-top stuff going on. It's that, you know, it's what we all know and love and hate at the same time. MediEvil. Alright, I honestly played this game like for a few minutes before this video idea even happened. I didn't like the game, and the reason was, I do like it now, let me go ahead and say that, but the reason I didn't like it before was I thought that it was a remake of the first one, which it technically is, but it's really not.
Technically, just shut up.
It is like completely different. It is like a completely different game, honestly. And when I looked at it from that perspective, I actually enjoyed it more. And I like the way it plays, I like the art style, I like the humor, it's got a lot of weapons, it's got interesting worlds. It's just got charm and it's got style. Family Guy. First time I saw this game was because of a speedrunner, and I was like, I've never seen this game before other than when I was a kid on the GameStop shelves. And I gave it a shot and it's fun. It's a fun game. If you like Family Guy, you'll like this game. Maybe. I've watched every season like a million times. It's got good humor. It's got some funny interactive bits and stuff like that. It's got pretty cool combat. As far as I got, you play as Stewie and you also play as Brian. I'm not sure if you get to play as anyone else, but it's a charming little game. Gun is ugly as shit and it controls terrible. As soon as I got into this game, I was just unimpressed. I was like,
This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
It's just not a good game, honestly, and it's sad because the original one on the PS2 is really good. Well, I guess it's not sad because you can still go and play that one, but it's like the controls too. Like the aiming is horrible, and the worst thing about it is it's a shooting game. And the whole premise is to be able to aim well and shoot. It's just a terrible game, honestly. Final Fantasy Tactics. Alright, I feel bad about this one because this is a really highly rated game, but I don't really like tactics games. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why'd you play it? Because it's a highly rated game and I'm gonna give it a shot, you know? I mean, didn't your parents ever tell you don't judge a book by its cover? I mean, come on now.
What, you don't think I can write them books? Just because I'm blind don't mean I'm dumb.
How could this have happened? A black white supremacist.
If you like tactics games, then you should definitely play this one. It's apparently amazing. 300 was based on a movie, right? Meet the Spartans.
Now eat my pig, asshole. That Taco Bell ain't sitting right.
Oh, it smells.
Caught you with your mouth open.
This game is kind of a joke, to be honest. It's not terrible, but it's just really not that good. It's not like, holy crap, like, this is one of the best games I've ever played, or holy crap, this is one of the worst games I've ever played. It's just like, holy crap, this is one of the most boring and like lifeless games I've ever played. It's just like, it feels like a cash cow, honestly. Motocross Arctic Edge. I don't know why I said it like that. This game is pretty fun, honestly. I don't have a lot to say about it. It looks really good. It's fun, you know. Did I say it was fun? It's fun. 50 Cent Bulletproof. Trash. Booty cheeks. Garbage. Not good. It's just not good. So Burnout Legends, this was one of the best games I played on the PSP and was also one of my girlfriend's favorites. I mean, what's there to say? It's got variety. You blow up other cars. Sometimes you're a cop car that you're chasing down another car, and sometimes you're just winning the race. ATV Off-Road Fury. It's a fun game. Another game I don't have much to say about. Nothing bad to say about. Cool soundtrack. Fun. Ghosts and Goblins. Alright, this is the hard game I was talking about. And when I'm saying hard, like, this is probably one of the hardest games I've ever played, to the point like it almost seems like it is unfair how hard it is. There's just like so many, sorry, I like gasped for air. There's like so many enemies on screen at any given time, and they just constantly spawn over and over and over, and I feel like I was at a platforming point that felt like it was unfair. I just could not even beat the first level. Next up, we got Tekken 6, baby. One of my all-time favorite games that I've never played. Yeah, I've never played any of these Tekken games, to be honest. I don't really like fighting games that much. It's just not my forte. It's not my thing. But, I mean, I kept winning the fights, even though I was playing on easy mode. So, I mean, it must be a good fighting game. This one's highly rated. A lot of people like it. I don't know what makes a good fighting game, so find out for yourself.
Alright, next up we got Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia, baby. We got that. Whoa, whoa. So, Prince of Persia, Revelation. Did I mention that we're talking about Prince of Persia Revelations right now? Anyways, this one just, I don't know. It's like when people say we've got God of War at home. This is kind of what that feels like. Alright, so we got a real booty crumbler one next. Is Socom Fireteam Bravo 3. I love these games when I was a kid. Like, loved them. Played them on PS2, and then I played it on the PSP, and I was like, dude, I can take this game with me. It felt exactly like I was playing the game from PS2 on the PSP, other than the god-awful controls. But that kind of ruined it for me. I mean, it's a great looking game. It looks great. It's got everything there. It's got everything there. It's you know, it's the same tactical stealth shooter as the PS2, but it's just the controls. I just can't deal with them. Ridge Racer, pretty fun game, honestly. Not my first pick, but not a bad game. I do think that it has like some satisfying drifting. Wipeout Pulse. So this game took me a second to get used to playing. It's a pretty fun game, honestly. Not my favorite, but nothing inherently wrong with it. Next up is Need for Speed Most Wanted, and personally, this is my least favorite racing game that I played, not only in the Need for Speed franchise, but just all together. This game is ugly, and it's just not fun. It literally looks like the cover of the Pink Floyd Animals album, if you've ever seen that, which is a great album, but is not a good world for a game to take place in. So Midnight Club Dub Edition, I think this is one of the better racing games to look at. It's not like a 10 out of 10 or anything, but shoddy bad, you feel me? It's kind of like the city, I feel like, that I don't like that much. It's kind of like the design is confusing, and it gets a bit dark at times also, which is a common complaint, but that was fixed in the next game, which is Midnight Club LA Remix. But what that game does that ruins it for me is it is really, really, really blurry. Like, when I'm playing it, I feel like I have astigmatism. It ruins the game for me because it's hard to look at. So Need for Speed Rivals, this is my personal favorite Need for Speed game that I played out of 3 games that I played. And what I really like about the game is it's just vibrant, it's nice to look at, it's interesting. It doesn't have like those ugly colors that the other games do. It's Need for Speed Carbon on the City. This is a lot of people's favorite game out of the Need for Speed franchise. I don't know what the exact reason is because it's not my favorite. It is like right under Rivals for me though. I mean, it's got like a cool open world, I guess, but it's still got that like art style that Most Wanted has. It's like very boring, very dull, very colorless, very like industrial. And lastly, we have Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell is a stealth game where you have to be quiet. If you're not quiet, then people will find you. And if people find you, it's not a stealth game. It's a game where you sneak, where you're stealthy. So I just want to thank everybody for watching this video. Please like, share, thumbs up, subscribe, eat that booty. I hope everybody has a great day and stay tuned for the next video. Eat that booty.